Hi guys, this is Sierra Rhymes, and today we're going to do a quick different ways to conserve and preserve the planet. It's just going to be a few little tips on different things that you can change in your daily life, different habits and things that you do or use or whatever to just kind of not be so wasteful, I guess. And it's things that like I've personally had to change a lot of them, and it's just things that I didn't really think about when I started trying to be less wasteful. When I started trying to be less wasteful. Yeah. Okay. So one of the ways you can do this is by practicing proper recycling. And what that means is basically like you separate your garbage, like things you cannot recycle. And interesting fact about this is that I heard in either, I think it's Japan, but it might be China, they actually in some areas have particular like food bins even that are like separate little areas so they can kind of compost or whatever, which is really cool. Proper recycling would be like, for instance, they usually in my area at the very least have like a garbage bin. They have a bin for like glass, plastic, and metal, which can include like aluminum foil and different things like that. Or they have a bin for like paper and cardboard. And so basically it's just going through your garbage and taking the time to, like, if for instance like my husband gets mozzarella bites, his mozzarella bites come in a plastic bag inside of a box. So you would put the plastic bag from the mozzarella bites in the plastic bin, and then you would put like the box inside of the cardboard paper box recycling bin thing. Anyway, so that's one way. Another way to do this is to use reusable silverware. And this is like if you go out to eat or something and you get it to go, there are a couple brands that you can get. You can get them either in bamboo or in metal or different. They do have plastics, but I personally try to stay away from plastic. It's a preference, a personal preference, so it's up to you. But the idea is basically that you bring your own silverware, or you get like a set of silverware from a place and then you just keep washing it and reusing it. And that's basically to cut down on your consumption of plastic. And another thing that you can also do that runs alongside the reusable silverware for eating out would be to like either bring your own cup to a restaurant or something like that. And that way, when they give you like a fill, they're not giving you like a plastic cup or something that would go to a landfill. And if you cannot do that, it's basically to properly recycle that particular item. So for instance, like when my sister and I go out to eat, we won't get like the lids for the cup. We'll just get like the actual cup that they have, and then we won't get like the plastic lid or the straw. That way we're not doing the actual plastic, because most of the places we go use paper cups, so it's not plastic basically. But I mean, we should be bringing our own cups. We're working on that. Another thing that you can do is don't burn plastic. I'm not absolutely sure on this, but I have heard that it's actually really bad for you to burn plastic. Like the chemicals are released into the air, and that by breathing them you can actually like absorb like some of the toxins that are in the plastics. So I've heard that those aren't really that good for the environment or for yourself. So just it's not the best to burn plastic from what I've heard. Another thing would be bringing your own reusable takeout containers to restaurants. Like if you know that you're going to go somewhere that has very large portions and you're most likely not going to eat like everything that's there, it would be to bring your own like reusable like storage container or something. That way they can just put your extra food in that, and that way they're not like wasting their supplies and they're not using the plastics and things that they have. Or you can get one from a restaurant and reuse it, but the only problem about that would be is that if it has like another restaurant name on it, you could be kind of offending whatever restaurant you go to that's not under that name. Reusable produce bags. Now I've actually seen these online very recently. I haven't really heard much about them up until probably a couple months ago, and that could just be me not noticing it, but they actually, like when you go to like the grocery store, they have those plastic bags that are on rolls, and you just like rip one off or whatever, and that's what you use for your produce. Now I've actually seen online where that you can go and get like for like 20 bucks or something, you can get like an actual netted produce bag, and I think that's kind of cool. And it's something I actually have to look a little bit more into before I get one, because I want to find something that's going to be durable. I'm very hard on things, but if I can find something, I might do another video suggesting that. So let me know in the comments below if you want to see anything like that in the future. One thing that I've noticed is like not turning water off when you're not like using it immediately. So this can mean like whether you're like brushing your teeth or something and like you're in between like when you wet your brush or something, like I think this was actually something I used to do for a little bit, was like I'd get my toothbrush wet and then like when I was brushing my teeth I wouldn't turn the water off, and so I just had to keep reminding myself, like, and I don't do it anymore, but it's something that I kind of had to break that habit, was that I would leave the water running or something, or if like I'm like washing my face or something, I try to turn the water off in between like getting my face wet, putting the face wash on, and then like rinsing my face back off, just because it's kind of like you're wasting a lot of water and you're not even using it, so there's no point. Another thing, and this is kind of a cool idea, it would be like learning to make your own healthy garden. This is something that's really neat, something I've been kind of kicking around for a while. I've actually considered making my own vegetable garden, and I've got like a little spot in my yard picked out for it. I'm not quite sure because it does take a little bit of maintenance, and I'm still learning to manage a home since it's only been 7 months since we've been married in the house. So it's something that I'm contemplating, but I'm gonna have to look a bit more into it before I actually decide either way. But it is an idea, and you can actually use some of your like leftover foods and like the vegetables that go bad in the garden or the plants that go bad. You can actually make a compost pile, and if you would like me to make a more descriptive video about that, I can probably upload something. Just let me know in the comments below. Another thing you can do is to buy like a gallon of water instead of getting the actual individual little bottles. I actually bring like an actual gallon jug of water to work with me. There are other ways that you can conserve plastic where you're not wasting that much of it, like getting a reusable like water bottle or something. I did do that for a while, but I found that I drink so much water and I was just pouring it into the reusable bottle from the jug anyway, that I literally just bring like a jug of water in my lunchbox, and it stays cool for pretty much all day. So for me, it was just easier to just bring the whole jug. That way you're not using all the plastic bottles throughout the day. Because for me, like at work, I would drink anywhere from like 5 to 8 bottles of water, and for me, it was just like a lot of waste. So it's worth it for me just to use the jug. Another way to be less wasteful is to, like with food, get smaller portions. Now, what I mean by that, and this isn't always something you can do when you're eating out, but if you're like at a gathering or something, it's just like you can always go back for seconds. So basically what I just like would do would be to you know, like get a little bit and eat it. And like another thing I've noticed is if you eat a little bit slower and you don't just wolf it down, it gives your body time to kind of process it, I guess, and kind of decide whether or not it's hungry or if it's full. And I've noticed that like I have a habit of just wolfing down food, and it's something that I'm actually relearning right now, and it's something that it's like I end up feeling over full almost to the point of feeling sick, because like I eat so much and I would get such big portions that it wasn't allowing my body to process it fast enough, so I would end up feeling sick. So the idea there is basically you go in, you get a smaller portion, and you eat that, and then you give it like a minute or two, and if you're still feeling hungry, you can go back and get more. So that's an idea. Another idea that I have seen that a lot of people have been picking up on, and they do like in Europe and other places from what I've heard from my friends, is riding your bike more. Like if you have to go to the store and it's like 5 minutes away, or if it's like literally just down the road a couple blocks or something, instead of taking your car those couple blocks and wasting the gas and the like emissions, is just to ride your bike. Because honestly, riding your bike a couple blocks is maybe going to take you 5 to 10 minutes, and it's really not, it's not that far, you know? And like for me, for instance, I've got a couple of stores just like literally 3 blocks down the road, so it's not very much just to, you know, bike down there. It's no big deal. So that is an idea. It's not for everyone, but it's an idea. Another idea to produce less waste is to repurpose old clothing or towels. Now, what I mean by clothing would be like if you have a pair of jeans that got ripped extremely in the knee or something and somewhere, and it's not quite holding together, you can always cut those jeans to make like capris or knee length like shorts or just regular shorts. It's just a way of reusing them. You can also reuse old t-shirts. You can make crop tops or tank tops. They have a lot of cute little things that you can do. I've seen online, and I can attempt something like that. If you would like to see that, let me know in the comments below. Another thing would be like old towels. You can use them for like rags or something. You can also use old t-shirts. I've seen them used for like quilts and things as like a memory thing, because usually like when you get a t-shirt, it's not just a t-shirt, like it's something like you had an experience, so you bought a t-shirt to remember that event. At least that's sometimes what I do. So one way you can keep them and not throw them out but kind of clear up some closet space would be to kind of sew them into an actual quilt, so you have it as like a memory thing, which is really cool. And yeah, so those are 15 ways to help conserve and preserve and be less wasteful and more helpful for the environment. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up, and if you have any thoughts or advice or suggestions, or if you want to see me do a specific type of video, let me know in the comments below. I can work on getting back to those. And also, if you have any questions that you would like me to answer, I'm going to be doing a Q&A video soon, so just let me know those in the comments below as well. Don't forget to hit subscribe, and don't forget to check me out on social media. I am at Sierra Rhymes, as always, and I hope you guys have a great week. Bye. Happy Saturday.